And a working-level meeting between the two Koreas have settled on some of the details for the summit coming up this Friday. The South Korean president says North Korea would be guaranteed a bright future if it ends its nuclear program completely. Our Cha Sang-mi reports.
Working-level officials from Seoul and Pyongyang met for a third round of talks to finalize the summit arrangements. The talks began at 10 a.m. Seoul time at Tongilgak on the northern side of Panmunjom.
North and South Korea held a third round of working-level talks prior to the Inter-Korean summit that will be held in the Peace House of Panmunjom on April 27, 2018. They discussed security, protocol, and media coverage and reached a final agreement today.
The press director announced that President Jae-in and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are to begin their historic meeting with an official greeting, and then they will hold the summit and an official dinner. Each side will finalize a list of participants and notify each other as soon as possible. To make sure that there are no embarrassing gaffes, Seoul's presidential office said Pyongyang will send an advance party on Wednesday to the South Korean side of Panmunjom for a joint rehearsal. Meanwhile, President Moon Jae-in has hailed North Korea's decision to freeze activity at its nuclear test site, saying Monday that it helps clear the way for the inter-Korean and U.S.-North Korea summits to be successful.
지난 20일 북한은 핵실험과 대륙간 탄도미사일 시험 발사 중지를 선언하고 그 실천적 조치로 풍계리 핵실험장의 폐기를 발표했습니다. 남북 정상회담과 북미 정상회담을 앞둔 북한의 성의 있는 선행 조치로 높이 평가합니다.
Speaking at a meeting of his senior secretaries, President Moon said North Korea halting its weapons testing was welcomed by the entire world, including President Trump, who said this was very good news for North Korea and the world and big progress. He added that should North Korea continue from its nuclear test freeze to ending its nuclear program completely, the North would be guaranteed a bright future. And he said he hopes that happens soon. President Moon also called on South Korea's political parties to put aside their differences at least until the summit and work together for a permanent peace on the Korean peninsula and for peaceful denuclearization. Cha Sang-mi, Arirang News.